here. And from this point onwards, it's going to be the rant that I have been wanting to have about For Honor for a while. Because obviously my rep count has now reached 103, so I've got my fair share of experience with the game. And there's a number of things that I feel like Ubisoft could change that would improve upon the game. Obviously, I'm no expert. I don't know the exact numbers with like recovery times, frame perfect, whatever. And I'm ultimately not the best player, as I'm sure you can tell from the number of times you've seen me play the game, assuming you pay attention to that side of things. But there are a number of things that I really think could do with being changed. And the main two that I feel like really get to me the most, I'm going to say for last, because those are the two bigger ones that I feel like need a little bit more proper looking into on Ubisoft's part. But some of the smaller things that that kind of get on my nerves is Bash's and one of Shigoki's attacks, Demon Embrace. Shigoki's Demon Embrace, it's a really useful attack because it's like one of two things that actually let you heal without, like in a brawl or a duel or whatever. That's gonna keep happening. God damn, that's gonna be annoying. The thing I have against it is not the damage it deals or how much it heals, because it does 25 damage. It's a solid bar of health. That's not a problem. I don't actually know how much health it heals. I'm going to assume it heals somewhere about like 20 health, if that makes sense. And the issue I have with it is you miss it. You're in such a vulnerable state for such a long time, and I can understand from like the perspective of it's meant to balance it, because obviously it immobilizes an opponent for a hot moment, while Shigoki gets in free damage and a little bit of health back. But you miss it, and you easily spend like 2-3 seconds, if not longer, unable to do anything. And I can guarantee you without a doubt in my mind that if an actual person did the exact same movement, they would not have to deal with the same amount of, I guess, recovery time that Shigoki deals with. And you would have thought Shigoki, even if it is because like he's throwing out around a lot of the weight, you would have thought he'd be used to being able to throw around all that kind of weight a lot. So there's that. The other thing I have is bashes. There are some characters' bashes that have to be performed sort of from neutral by like walking backwards, like Jormungandr's neutral one. You literally need to be able to be walking backwards to do it, and it's so stupid. That's why in that Breach match I was playing, I got stuck not being able to do it because I couldn't move backwards any further. I was up against the wall, so I couldn't actually perform it, and if I'd been able to perform it, I could have potentially saved my own ass. But because I couldn't, it really messed with it. I can't actually think of... There's Tiandi as well. Tiandi also has a neutral bash. Lawbringer, bash, I say, polearm. What the fuck is it called? Long arm, that's what it's called. That, again, also from neutral. It's just that those you would have thought be able to be formed without needing to move backwards. You would have thought the game being able to register the directional input from your stick would be enough, but here we are. Another thing with bashes is if somebody's doing a bash that moves them forward, like a shield bash or Warden's shoulder bash, dodging backwards really shouldn't let you be able to dodge it. You would have thought the sheer amount of momentum that the character is going through them would be enough to keep them moving just that little bit extra foot and a half forward. Which is why I honestly don't understand why it doesn't work like that. You would have thought if you dodge backwards, you shouldn't be able to avoid it. But here we are. And what was the other things? I knew there was multiple things, but I didn't write them down because I'm an idiot. And I don't know. I don't think it was like stamina changes. Oh yeah, that's what it was. I mean, it kind of relates to stamina changes, but there are a couple of things that this isn't necessarily the biggest of issues I have with the game. It's just that a lot of damaging, like a lot of attacks, deal weird amounts of damage. Like Shigoki's heavies, as a general rule, do like anywhere between, I want to say, 30 and 50 damage if you don't have any attack buffs. It's just whether you charge them or uncharge them. But Warden's top heavy consistently does 40, even if it's like, I don't know if it needs to be unblockable or not. But I'm pretty sure it just goes like consistently 40. And it's like, why is a Warden's top heavy so capable of dealing the amount of damage that Shigoki's heavies can do, when you would have thought Shigoki's heavies would do a lot more damage, considering he's using a combination of a blunt weapon and he's obviously physically stronger than Warden. It's just one of those little things that, like, it doesn't necessarily matter all that much if he gets changed. It's just a little weird in my eyes. And the thing that I remembered about was the testing ground changes. And I know Ubisoft are slowly bringing in the general fighting ones that included all, like, the stamina changes to parrying, the damage numbers being changed and whatever. But sweet Jesus, they couldn't be taking any longer to bring it out. I know that they had accidentally put it into the Carousel of Ragnarok, but, like, if we don't get it this season, then I don't know when we're going to get it, because I'm pretty sure they've pretty much fine-tuned it at this point, because I don't really see what else there is to fine-tune about it. But that's just that, I guess. We get it when we get it. But Centurion, where the hell did that go? One season we had, I want to say it was during Hitokiri's season or Jormungandr's season. I think it was more like to be Jormungandr. Like early during Jormungandr's season. And it just disappeared. We got the changes to Warlord, we got the changes to Gladiator, but we still didn't have the Centurion rework. And don't get me wrong, I like the current Centurion, and I do not remember much about the rework Centurion, because it's been a while, obviously. But that's one of the reasons why I've been so hesitant to play Centurion of late, because I don't want to, like, really get into Centurion when I know he's going to change, like, within the next few months. But I don't know when he's going to change within the next few months. He might not in the next few months. It might take, like, another 4 or 5 for all I know. It might not be until, like, Season 3 of Year 4 that we actually get his change. And it's like, Ubisoft, could you work on that? I know there's a pandemic and all, and I know obviously things have been delayed, like pretty much everything's been delayed. But you've been on it for like over 6 weeks, actually, 6 weeks, no, 6 months. Let me just quickly see if I can Google when the Centurion rework was done. It might help if I could spell properly. Hold on, Centurion rework. Oh wait. What if I were to look up Centurion testing grounds? Okay, so it was about September of 2019. August, September time. So, that's been, what? 8 months now? Coming up on 9? Ubisoft, it'd be great to know what's happening with Centurion. And the last 2 things that I want to talk about, in terms of things that I feel like could change with For Honor, is the bots. The bots are weird. Before Marching Fire, I think it was Marching Fire where they got the massive change. They used to be really easy no matter what level they were. And now, anytime you find a level 3 bot, I find them really difficult to fight. And I know obviously I'm not the best of players, I can't light parry very effectively. But sweet Jesus, if you come across a bot that has like a light riposte, like Nuxia or Lawbringer or whatever, I will get decked within seconds because I can't do much against that. And I know I could obviously just do more heavy feints, practice light parrying, whatever to improve upon my skills, but it's like, the fact that they're that difficult is a different issue altogether. Because level 2 bots are surprisingly easy, and if you have uninterruptible stances for a lot of your attacks, then they also become really easy. If you've got a lot of bashes, they become really easy. But if you don't, then it's like, you just pretty much get steamrolled over, as if you weren't even there. So I feel what they really should do is just turn down the parry chances on the bot. Because I know there are some people who are really good at light parrying, but I doubt there's somebody who can land every single possible light that can be thrown out in the game. And that leads to my last one, being the light parries. I know a lot of people, I know it's probably splits the For Honor community really wide open when it comes to this sort of stuff. But the light parries really, personally, feel like they fucked up the game the most. Because the whole point of the light attacks is they're meant to be fast, chain attack opens that sort of lead into whatever your chain is, like whether it's light, heavy, light, 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 heavy, light, heavy, heavy, or whatever it is, depending on who your character is. But with the ability to parry them, it's what's caused so much of the turtling, I think. It's like so many people are afraid to throw out a light or a heavy because it's just so many people can parry them both in this day and age. And obviously, I don't parry every single heavy that gets thrown at me because there's only so much I can do within my realm of power. But like, that's one of the bigger issues that I think that For Honor has, is the light parries. It's what's caused a lot of the turtling. And yes, I know the testing ground changes with the general like the general fighting changes, will reduce a lot of this problem where people will be more likely to start throwing out attacks now. But I don't think they should have introduced light parries in the first place. Because, like, when you look at certain characters, like Orochi, who obviously they like spam a lot, and obviously, yeah, a light parry would be really useful to just sort of throw out, so that way you can get in an easy attack on them. But then, like, it's hard to put into words, I guess, is the main point I'm trying to get into. It's just, yeah, it's useful because obviously it means. And actually, no. Let me change my thought. Let me change my thought process. Let me look at it from a different angle for a second. Ubisoft are obviously trying to balance. Any games company that has a multiplayer game obviously tries to balance it for everybody that plays it, which is why Ubisoft got rid of the old gear stats with Marching Fire and replaced them with the perks. But they've pretty much brought back the same issue with the light parries. Because the reason they got rid of the gear stats was because those with higher rarity gear obviously had the higher stats, because they obviously had higher attack, higher revenge gain, higher revenge attack, higher revive time, whatever the fucking stats were, I can't remember off the top of my head. And obviously the perk system is a case of you can, within reason, get 2 or more relatively easily, no matter what gear stat you're at. But like, that has brought in a different kind of balance to what the light parries fuckled with, because if you come across somebody who's like, I don't know, 200, 300 total rep, the chances of them being able to parry light attacks is incredibly high. Whilst if you come across somebody who has less than 10 reps total, the chances of them being able to light parry are incredibly low. That's not to say it's impossible, because I have seen occasions when there are people who feel like they've literally just done nothing but practice light parries. And I honestly don't blame them, because it feels like it's one of the few ways that people are actually getting wins in this game, which is to just spam light parries. And honestly, it's frustrating, because somebody like me, I have 103 rep total now, and I can only vaguely consistently parry certain dodged attacks, and that's about it within my realm of possibility. I mean, yeah, I know I occasionally light parry certain attacks on accident, but that's about as close as I get to being able to perform an actual light parry. So yeah, For Honor is in... I think For Honor is genuinely in desperate need for some changes. And another thing that I doubt will happen anytime soon, but it'd be great to see it if Ubisoft actually went ahead and did it, would be cross-platform play. Because I play on PS4, I own it on PC through the Epic Games launcher. No, I don't, it's through Steam. Shut up. And my younger brother and older sister and one of my friends, if we had cross-platform play, we could potentially, it's unlikely, but we could potentially, the 4 of us, play together as a squad. Issue is, obviously there's no cross-platform play, and obviously we'd need, so I would need more powerful PCs. Not that this one isn't strong enough to do it, I haven't actually tried playing PC For Honor on this. But if cross-platform play was introduced, it would obviously throw in a whole new kind of spanner in the works, because the whole frame rate differences, lag, People obviously having better performance on PC than with console, and with the button commands being able to be mapped a lot differently on PC. So there need to be a lot of things that Ubisoft will need to change about For Honor in order to make it functional. But it'd be cool to see cross-platform play. And if they did it so that way you could select what your main account was, so like for me I could play my PS4 account on PC as my main account, that would be fantastic. Will it happen? Who the fuck knows? Would it be more likely that we get a sequel for Honor on PS5? Maybe. I mean, like, this is year 4. We don't actually know exactly how far Ubisoft are going to go with For Honor, but PS5 is coming out at the end of the year. I think it is anyway. I'm fairly certain. So it's entirely possible either see them carry on through to the PS5 and maybe, I don't know, update graphics to the PS5, because obviously the PS5 is meant to be really powerful, or maybe they'll re-release the game for PS5, or just release something entirely new for PS5. It's hard to tell. But those are probably the only real things I wanted to have a sort of rant about with For Honor. A lot of those things aren't necessarily problems, they're just things I feel like if they solved, it would, I say solved, if they were changed, I feel like a lot of people might enjoy the game a touch more. And, well, obviously, the main issue, a lot of the bigger issues that has with the game is lag, because I was playing For Honor this morning, and I was fighting a couple of players who had, like, to the point where I can't remember what their latency was. It was easily like 80, like not 80, 50, 60 plus. And the number of times I'd hit them, I saw the attack connect with their body, I saw the health drop, and then it went back to them having actually parried me, and have gone into revenge from the parry that they landed on my attack. Which is like, that, it feels like cheating. It's not technically cheating, because it's just one hell of a shitty lag, but holy fuck. Ubisoft. Introduce more, I don't know, dedicated servers or whatever the fuck it is. We need more of them, to be quite honest. Because I think I saw the other day a map of where all their sort of like dedicated server rooms were, and they do not have anywhere really near enough for like pretty much the entire planet, I guess. I think there's one for like Eurasia, which in itself is a problem. They have one in London, I think. I think they have another one somewhere in like Eastern Europe. I could be wrong about that, but there's just like, there's not enough. There needs to be at least like 3 more in order to make it function a lot better. But yeah, those are just some of my thoughts in terms of what I feel like For Honor could do to improve. Hopefully, if I've timed this well, I'd have some gameplay in the background, and maybe you could actually process any of what I've said as something sensible. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed my thoughts. If you have any different thoughts or disagree with anything I have to say, feel free to comment below, but I don't want to see tons of comments just saying lol get good, because what the fuck is that going to do for anybody? It just doesn't feel worth it. Like, what is the point in just tearing somebody down just because they're not as good as you or whatever? But yeah, if you've got like any genuine proper thoughts in terms of what you think For Honor could do to improve the game, I said that wrong, I meant to say what Ubisoft could do to improve the game, not For Honor to do to improve the game. Feel free to comment below, and I shall see you in the next one. So, I'll see you then.
You captured Zone C.